This is a quick review on converting fractions to decimals and percents and back and forth between all of the fractions, decimals, and percents. So we're going to start with percents. And the first thing to realize about percents is that percent means per hundred. The word percent means per cent, which is French for per hundred. So basically 30% means 30 out of 100, which then you could simplify into a fraction and get 3 over 10. So essentially when you're given a percent, to make it into a fraction, just put it over 100. So in this case, 55% will be 55 over 100, and then you just simplify. 5 goes into 55 11 times, 5 goes into 100 20 times, and that will be your final answer. To get 125%, again, we just do 125 over 100. And again, to simplify, we figure out what goes into both. So in this case, 25 goes into 125 5 times, and 25 goes into 100 4 times. If you want, you could write that as 1 1/4, but you're fine to leave it as 5 over 4. Now, this next one's a little bit more challenging, because if we just put it over 100, we get 24.5 over 100. But all of you know that you can't have a decimal within a fraction. So what we actually have to do is we actually have to make that 245 over 1,000. And now we have to simplify that. And again, you have to ask yourself, what goes into both of those? So in this case, 5 goes into both of them. So 5 goes into 245 49 times, and 5 goes into 1,000 200 times, and that is what that final answer will be. So you have to be careful with ones that have decimals, but it works the same way. Now, how do you turn a percent into a decimal? Well, again, because percent means per hundred, all you need to do is divide the percent by 100, or another way to do that is just to move the decimal place 2 times to the left. So 35% will become 0.35. You can write 0.35, or you can just write 0.35. It doesn't matter. And 230% will become 2.30 or 2.3. So now we're going to look at what we do with decimals. So converting decimals to fractions, you have to count how many decimal places there are. So in this example, decimal 0.6, the number 6 is in the tens place. So when there's 1 decimal place, you're going to put it over 10. In the decimal 0.35, the number 5 would be in the hundredths place. So when there's 2 decimal places, you're going to put the number over 100. Finally, decimal 0.375, the number 5 would be in the thousandths place. So in this case, when there's 3 decimal places, you're going to put the number over 1,000. If there were 4 decimal places, you would put it over 10,000, and so on. So let's look at these examples. So 0.8, what you're going to do, 1 decimal place, you're going to put 8 over 10, and then you're going to simplify that one, and that becomes 4 over 5. 0.75 has 2 decimal places, so you're going to put 75 over 100, and then again you're going to simplify. In this case, 25 goes into both. Now the next one's a little tricky because it has 3 numbers, but it only has 2 decimal places. So you're going to put it over 100, so this will become 124 over 100, or if you prefer, you can make it 1 and 24 over 100. So that's up to you. Again, now we're going to simplify that. And I believe 4 goes into both, so 4 goes into 124 31 times, and 4 goes into 125 times, and that would be your final answer. If you want to leave it as a mixed fraction, that's okay also. Now, the bottom here, some of this moved, so I'm not sure this is going to work out so well, but at the bottom here, we have changing to percents. So this one's actually a lot easier. To take a decimal to make it into a percent, you just multiply it by 100 or move the decimal place twice to the right. So in this case, 0.56, multiply that by 100 or move the decimal twice, that'll just be 56%. 2.06 will become 206%, and 0.05 will become 5%. Be careful with that one, it's not 50%, so just be careful. Okay, so this slide is now looking at fractions and how to convert them. So the easiest way to take a fraction and convert it into a decimal, if you don't already know what the fraction is, so some fractions like a half, you hopefully will know that that's 0.5, or 3/4 will be 0.75. But let's say you don't know what 4/10 is. The easiest thing to do is on your calculator, just divide 4 divided by 10. So numerator divided by denominator, and that is going to be 0.4. Again, you can put the 0 in front, you don't have to though. Again, the next one, you're just going to punch in 18 divided by 12, and in this case you're going to get 1.5. So pretty straightforward if you have a calculator. Now to turn them fractions into percents, the easiest thing to do is to turn it into a decimal first by doing what we just did, so top divided by bottom, and then just multiplying by 100. So if you punch in 4 divided by 5, you get 0.8, and then multiply that by 100, you're going to get 80%. Likewise, if you punch in 11 divided by 4, and then times that by 100, you're going to get 275%. So that's just a quick review on how to convert between fractions, decimals, and percents.